Somebody sent me a clip of Joe Budden claiming that No Jumper is doing real bad in terms of our views and everything. So let's do the science.
Who's the big three of hip hop media platforms? I say Vlad, Ak, and me. Drake responds, nah, you gotta give it to him over Vlad.
I'm all good. You know, if you like Joe better than me, that's cool. I'm not mad at Joe or mad at Drake.
Adam22 goes off on Joe Budden again. DJ Vlad reacts to the top 3 hip-hop media platforms conversation. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion with your guy Oleezeh. Don't forget to subscribe. Adam22 came out and disrespected Joe Budden and his podcast, putting them in place, saying that they're not in the big 3. He goes off in true Adam22 fashion, a bit out of character, doesn't really suit him, and I got the clip right here. Check it out.
Joe Budden, you zesty perkhead. Somebody sent me a clip of Joe Budden claiming that No Jumper is doing real bad in terms of our views and everything. So let's do the science. Joe Budden's channel has got 12 million views in the past month. No Jumper's main channel plus our clips channel has done about 26, 27 million views for the past month. So we are 2 times by far what you have going on. And on top of that, we kill it on Facebook. We kill it on Snapchat. We have 3 million followers on Instagram, and we make a huge amount of money on there. Joe Budden, I don't want to hear shit. You're running a chop shop. You might have the whole hip hop media gassed into thinking that you're really killing it like that. But trust me, when you want to talk about who's really doing business out here, it's not you. There's a big 3 and you're not in it. It's me, Vlad, and that fat you were serious.
Yeah, fam. I mean, Adam22 said it was because someone sent him a clip of Joe Budden disrespecting No Jumper, their numbers. But the way No Jumper just orchestrate a lot of their dramas on their channel, I think Adam just wanted any excuse to spark up something, because Academics was on the Joe Budden podcast and he mentioned No Jumper and Adam22. So Adam probably just saw it as a great opportunity to get his name out there, people talking about him and people tuning into No Jumper because they think there might be some content on that. Because from what I heard, Joe Budden wasn't saying anything disparaging about Adam22. Obviously we know they've had issues in the past, but he didn't say nothing this time. So you kind of struggle to think why Adam had such an outburst. But we're in the click era, people. Anything controversial to get eyes on you. Well, that's how some channels move. But we all know Joe Budden does not back down. It's like almost like the whole Kendrick, Drake, Rick Ross has just sparked everybody into just starting some random frivolous beefing. When really all we want to hear is Drake bars against Kendrick bars. We don't even want to hear Rick Ross. Anyway, I digress. Joe Budden responds to Adam22's claims about the big 3 in hip hop media. So if you didn't know, Adam22 is looking for some drama with Joe Budden again. As you know, these two have had a fractious up and down relationship over the years. But most interesting, the thing that people have been talking about is when he said he believes the top 3 is himself, which is No Jumper, DJ Academics, and DJ Vlad. Well, Joe Budden has responded to this with a series of posts. He said, big 3. I only see me, my man, up here. Tuh. Which obviously he means just him and Academics, because you know DJ Vlad and Joe Budden don't get along for quite a few years now. Joe Budden also said this: I hate to break it to you, buddy, but there was never a hip hop media big 3. And capitalize that H in hip hop when you speak about it, white boy. Damn. Then lastly, Joe Budden said this: some of you media ninjas been trying to force a beef relationship with me for years now. I'm too at peace for the contrived hootenanny, and my God is too good for me to pretend like he isn't. Please don't let me be a distraction to your plans. With a little more focus, you maybe can lose even more. LOL. Joe Budden with that humor there, not taking Adam22 serious at all. And there's a little jab at Vlad as well, because Vlad is always saying that he's open to working with Joe Budden in the future. It's just Joe Budden has a problem with him. But it is an interesting debate, the top 3 media outlets. I would even put No Jumper in that, really, in the top 3, because when you think of No Jumper podcast, you kind of think of a platform that discusses hip hop, but you really kind of think of the controversies, the fights, and all the gang members, then you start thinking about the hip hop they talk about. Plus, he just kind of promotes his plug talk business, and he interviews a whole bunch of porn stars and gang members. You don't really think hip hop when you think of No Jumper. I would definitely put DJ Academics in there. He's probably number one, I would say. I'd definitely put DJ Vlad in there. He's that OG, basically. And then you got to put Joe Budden in there. That would be the most obvious top three. But we all know Adam 22 is just doing this to spark up more controversy and have people talking about his platform, because that is what their specialty is. Controversy, conflict, and nonsense. But let's keep it real. It is somewhat entertaining. But someone who does have an opinion on who is the top three media outlets is Drake. Adam 22 apparently got into Drake's DMs and asked him who he felt was in the top three of hip-hop media outlets. This is how it went. Check it out.
All right, I DM Drake. I hadn't spoken to him about any of this craziness. Once we start having this big three conversation, I send the message to Drake and I say, this is an exact quote, who's the big three of hip-hop media platforms? I say Vlad, Ack, and me. Ack agrees. Zesty Budden is dying to be included. Drake responds with exactly 8 crying laughing emojis. I was hoping that his response would undermine Sleepy Joe Budden. After the 8 crying laughing emojis, he says, nah, you gotta give it to him over Vlad. Well, for the record, Drake, the number one artist of our time, arguably the greatest hip hop career ever. His top three is Ack, Joe Budden, and No Jumper.
Yeah, fam. So Drake puts Joe Budden in that top three, but also puts in Academics and obviously No Jumper. But he left out DJ Vlad. I'm a bit surprised by that. I mean, does Drake have beef with DJ Vlad? Has Vlad said anything bad about Drake? I can't recall anything with bad blood. How do you not put Vlad in the top three media? He's been doing it for like 20 years. But you know, DJ Vlad doesn't get the respect that he really deserves, you know. Although Vlad does similar things to Adam 22 in a way, he does interview actors, athletes, and gang members and stuff like that, but he does interview a hell of a lot of rappers. So to say he's not in the top three hip-hop media doesn't make sense. Unless Adam 22 is lying. But would he lie about Drake? Nah. He ain't gonna do some AI and the tweets and the DMs and stuff. Well, DJ Vlad has recently reacted to this conversation. Here's what he had to say.
So I understand why he would pick Joe. And you know, there's an argument for Joe. On, you know, Spotify and so forth, Joe's way bigger than me on the podcast side. On the YouTube side, I'm bigger than him.
Right.
So, I mean, whatever you want, it's all good. I'm the one that's been doing it longer than anybody. I'm 16 years in. Me being around longer than anyone and still being talked about, for me, that's a win. I'm all good. You know, if you like Joe better than me, that's cool. I'm not mad at Joe or mad at Drake. It's all good. Drake could have been like, who's Vlad? You know what I mean? He could have really just downplayed who I am completely. Right. You know, but he said, oh no, I'll put Joe over Vlad. Okay, that's cool. Not tripping. Right. It's all good. You know, the fact that Drake is talking about me on any level, this is the biggest rapper in the world, I think is fine.
Yeah, fam. So Vlad is just happy to be in that conversation. And to be honest, when you got the money Vlad's got, why would you care about a silly internet conversation anyway? Vlad's been doing it for longer than everybody. And to be fair, he does very different content when you compare Vlad TV to Joe Budden. Joe Budden is much more about talking about current events and actual albums. Whereas Vlad will interview someone who's a veteran. He'll just do a life story on somebody. He's not really talking about what's necessarily trending in terms of albums. Where Academics and Joe Budden are much more in the same sort of bracket. Although Joe Budden, I think, only does 2 episodes a week. But there you have it. Vlad has responded. He has no issues with Drake saying that he shouldn't be in the top 3. He's just happy to be in the conversation. But people, I want to know what you lot think about what Vlad had to say. Would you actually put Vlad in the top 3 hip-hop media platforms? Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It'd be much appreciated. This is Fresh Hip Hop Opinion. Peace and love.